Coming to you from Strings and Things Studio in Ventura, California, I'm Anne.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Karin.
And this is the Strings Unraveled podcast.
Well, happy April, everybody.
Happy April. It's still March today, but
Technically.
when you listen to us all,
It's
it will
barely
be.
March.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have more April showers.
Finally.
I
Finally.
love it.
Finally. It's been raining nonstop for like 3 months.
But we never have April showers.
Okay.
Usually we get like maybe a couple weeks in February and a hope in March and then nothing. So I'm actually happy.
My daughter was born 12 years ago, and she just had her birthday a week ago. And it was exactly the same weather as the day she was born, which when I was pregnant with her, which was actually droughty times, I dreamt that she would be born on a cold, rainy, stormy night. And she was.
I feel like that scene in Forrest Gump when he's in Vietnam and he says, one day it started raining and it didn't stop for 4 months.
That's really true, but I'm not sad about it. But that's okay.
I'm just ready for some sunshine.
Yeah. Like this storm cycle has been very nice, I think.
I'm fine if it wants to rain all night.
Yeah.
That's cozy and I can
Yeah.
listen to it when I sleep, but
Yeah.
I don't want, I'm tired of gloomy.
Yeah.
But I bought rain boots and I want to use them.
Well, that's your problem.
You're the one who bought rain boots and lives in Southern California.
They'll last forever.
I have my favorite thing to do on my lunch break is to go somewhere that's not the premises of my work and to park and take a nap.
Nice.
And so the last few days, like today was a pretty cold day to me.
Yeah, it was chilly today.
But you're in the car, the windows are cracked, and it's perfectly sun warmed.
Yeah.
Like just perfect.
Cozy.
Yeah. And I come back and it's like almost like I'm not just recharged from the nap, because I know some people are not power nappers, but
I wish I could.
nap,
That would be lovely.
I'm not really, really asleep, but I come back refreshed from it.
Have you ever done a coffee nap?
Yes. I love the coffee nap.
Yeah.
What is a coffee nap?
You probably heard about it because it's my jam.
Yeah.
Coffee nap is you drink your coffee.
Yep.
Okay. And you time drinking your coffee because the caffeine doesn't hit you right away, right? So you drink your coffee and you're thinking, woe's me, I don't feel better from drinking my coffee.
Yep.
But in like a half an hour, you feel better and you probably don't notice because you're tired of being tired. Okay. Drink your coffee. Find a cozy place. Take a 20-minute nap, which is about the time it takes for the caffeine to hit your system. You wake up, you can see through time.
Whoa.
It's better than 8 hours of sleep to me.
I would love to be able to do that, but I'm not a napper.
I'm going to try that.
It's my most favorite
hard
thing
to
in the
settle down,
world.
Yeah.
Well, the thing of it is, and I think if you guys tap into your yoga experience, and instead of focusing on my head is on the pillow, I'm going to sleep now.
Yeah.
Instead, go into a yogic breathing.
Breathe in.
And you will relax yourself through the breathing.
Yeah.
And you won't get to any kind of REM waves, which are supposed to be the most restful, but you'll get into a wavelength of sleep. And you'll feel better. I think. Not everyone is refreshed from naps. That is a true thing.
Yeah,
but
I think the problem is I usually nap too long, and then I wake up very groggy.
Yeah, that's why I think the 20 minutes is key. And actually, for me, 5 or 10 minutes of just closing my eyes and breathing like that is almost as refreshing as 20.
But I can't just sit down and drink coffee. One, it's too hot, so I guess I just let it cool down a little bit.
They make this incredible invention called iced coffee.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, then it's too cold.
Well, I don't know what to tell you there, Karin.
Okay,
so I have made a cup of coffee in the Keurig over here.
Oh, that's true. It doesn't
Make
come
it
super
in
hot.
a smaller size.
So it cools down.
And then I top it off with a little water. Because when I'm doing this, it really is about I'm not sitting down to enjoy a cup of coffee.
It's get coffee into my body.
Trying to inject caffeine into my body.
Got it. I could do that.
Also, I just got a new tea at Winco that is higher caffeine content than coffee, and it has been very useful. I can't remember what it's called, but if you go
That's
to Winco,
very useful to us, Anne.
if you go to Winco, it's there. It's called something like Zest or something
Okay.
kind of obviously like energetic.
Cool.
It's not very tasty. It's supposed to be like my favorite tea is Earl Grey,
Uh-huh.
and the more bergamot, the better. And this is
bergamot.
supposed to be Earl Grey, but it really just tastes like black tea. So
I have a
guess
quick
that's what you
question. When you have tea,
get. Mhm.
are there any particular? Do you have tea and biscuits, as the British call it?
I do not, because I am American
American.
and I just brew a cup of tea.
Well, because look, this week I picked up some cookies from the market that I hadn't seen before that were pretty interesting. Tim Tams, have you seen those?
Those are very popular
Yep.
in Britain, but I have not.
But they're
ever had
apparently
them.
they're Australian. So
Oh,
You done
because
the Tim Tam Slam?
I
What is
have not done.
this? That's
Okay,
that's.
what is a Tim
you-
Tam Slam?
You take it's like a rectangular or like a square-shaped cookie.
Yeah.
You take a bite out of opposing corners, and then you use it like a straw to suck milk through it until it gets to the perfect amount of soggy, and then you eat the cookie. That's my understanding
But-
of what a Tim Tam Slam is.
I thought they were just like they look like Kit Kats, the
Oh, are
ones
they
that
sort
came.
of pralines?
No, they're like they're kind of like a wafer cookie. They're like covered in chocolate.
These look. Oh, okay. I have because they're not gluten free. I didn't eat them, but
Mhm.
but my kids came down from and were enjoying a snack of them, and my eldest says, "Where did you get these?" I'm like, "I just went to Vaughn's." What? And he's like, "I had to get those for my friend in Australia." I'm like, "Well, maybe she had just gone to Vaughn's." No, I only saw it this week. though.
Yeah.
So, of course, he had to get the caramel because that's his favorite flavor. And then no one seems to like the mint, but
Oh, I like mint.
I like mint. But like
As
I
a
said,
wafer cookie?
yeah,
It's like
chocolate
it's
and
like
mint.
a cookie that's covered in chocolate.
Yeah,
Like
Okay,
kind of an
okay, so
airy
it's
like
cookie.
like a minty filling,
So
probably.
okay, so it's like one of the Girl Scout cookies, like a Thin Mint.
It's kind of like the texture of a Thin Mint.
Okay.
Maybe not as like crunchy.
Yeah.
I haven't had one in a long time, but
Well, they're at Vaughn's now. You can go to your local market and get Tim Tams.
That sounds delicious.
Actually, I do have a cookie I like to have with a cup of tea, which I have special ordered for myself and keep hidden under my desk. A stroopwafel.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Stroopwafels.
You put it on top of your mug while it's steeping. It warms it, and it's all melty inside.
They all taste like caramel. There's like
Yeah.
supposedly different flavors, but they all taste caramelly to me. I mean, the chocolate one does taste chocolate, because I had to try all the flavors. But yeah, I do have a biscuit I like to have with tea, I guess.
I don't drink tea, so I don't have a biscuit of choice.
Well, that's okay.
or insert beverage of choice.
Yeah, if I'm drinking tea, it's because I'm sick. Like,
Well, so you're having some throat coat.
Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
loving life.
no, I like an iced tea, but no, I'm not. A cup of hot tea is not something I ever like think about. Because I have the same problem where I'm like, it's too hot, and then I let it sit there, and then I forget about my tea. Because it doesn't serve the same purpose to me as like coffee, which is like, I need energy,
Yeah.
so I'm paying attention to my coffee.
Well, as
I think I
was
could take a
warned
matcha
by-
nap. A
Sure.
matcha nap.
Matcha, yeah.
Because
yeah.
that would be the same.
As I was warned by like all my relatives that eventually your stomach's just not going to be happy with coffee.
Yeah.
But that's what my mom was having like 20 cups of coffee a day.
Oh,
And
that's bad.
at some part of her life, and so I've never had that much caffeine in a day.
I had a bad day last week. Not that it wasn't a bad day. It was a bad choice day because I had 3 cups of coffee in one day, which is a lot for me because I had coffee in the morning, like at home, like I normally do. I had an afternoon coffee, which I will do every once in a while. But then for some other reason, I was here for a drop-in or something, and I made coffee in the Keurig because I had forgotten that I had already had 2 cups of coffee that day. And then the next day, I had like a killer headache all day.
Yeah.
And I'm
you had the
like, my
rebound
body was
headache.
like, excuse me, where's my cup of coffee that you
Uh-huh.
promised me yesterday?
Yeah.
So I had to tell my brain, like, you can have 1 cup of coffee today.
Yeah.
But we've
No.
sort of like perfected our like coffee system at home, and we've got really good coffee going at home now. So it's I used to like go to Starbucks every morning, and now I'm like always looking forward to my first cup of coffee at home, and then maybe in the afternoon I'll have an iced coffy from somewhere. But
My family seems to think that my temper has mellowed better since I got off of coffee.
Uh-huh.
Because it used to be I'd wake up and I was super grumpy, and it's bad when your kids are like, "Mommy, do you need your coffee?"
Yeah, my niece.
I'm like,
my nieces
we really
do that
like
with
you
their
to have
parents.
your coffee for us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a slippery slope.
I've always tried to teach them that I'm the same nasty person on caffeine or off caffeine.
Yeah,
Nothing's gonna help you.
But when you have a purple eye, not just the red eye, but
oh lordy,
you realize you have a problem.
you
So,
and
I backed off.
You and Pablo can sit together. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not doing the 20 shots.
I think it was just 4, but still.
Yeah.
No, it said 12 on the side of
I'd like
his
to
mug.
think he took it home and like spaced that out over.
The more we learn about his personality, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
I've had 6 shots, but I don't do that anymore.
We're talking about Pedro Pascal because if you are a Patreon member of ours, we spent half an hour last month talking just about him on our Patreon, so you didn't get that content. But yeah,
Do you listen to Pedro
But
Pascal?
no,
if you're a
There's a
person
podcast
in
for
the
that.
world,
It's
you're
awesome.
also obsessed with Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Or you're like my husband. I'm so sick of everybody thinking Pedro's coming to rescue you.
oh man.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
No, I have a great husband. I do not want Pedro Pascal to come and rescue me.
I don't want him to rescue me. I just want him to be near so I can stare at him. That's so sad.
Do you guys want to talk about knitting?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted by the zaddy.
You know, we've had a very Bechdel, Bechdel passing
Oh,
conversation.
yes.
We were talking about our caffeine intake.
Yes, I think most of our conversations pass the Bechdel test.
Yes.
Most of
I have
the
no
time.
idea what's a Bechdel test.
It's a test for movies or media where it sort of is like it gives you an idea of how like feminist or well representing of women the movie or whatever is, and it's where 2 characters who identify as women have a conversation about something other than a man for more than like a certain number of lines of dialogue.
Oh,
And the limit or the number of movies that pass that test is extremely low, especially like older movies.
Mm.
So that's like your media metric, but I think we passed that
A lot of the
99% of the
time.
time.
yeah.
Who wants to start?
I want to go last in both categories. So,
Karin, what are you working on?
Okay. I have joined the knitting multiple. Let's see, I had a word for it.
I don't know.
The Moss test.
Moss?
The Moss group. Knitting multiples of same sweater.
oh,
I just
Moss.
I came up with that.
like poquito más.
No, that's MAS.
Oh, okay.
Moss. Multiples of same sweater.
Okay, it's mass.
No, Moss.
Multiples.
Of
Uh-huh.
same sweater.
Oh, moss.
You know, like how you spell moss?
You know that green stuff that grows.
I'm not a verbal learner.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So what
just letting you
multiple
know.
sweaters are you making?
I'm making 2 La Prairies, which are sweaters. The sweater pattern is by Hohi Locatelli, and I have one that I'm doing with the bobbles and one that I'm doing without bobbles because I just want to see. I have them in 2 different kinds of yarn as well. The one with bobbles is actually a single ply. It's Manos del Uruguay, or however you pronounce the G. I'll learn it one of these days. With Fino. And it's very soft and squishy. But being single ply, it's a little plumper than the La Bien Amie, which is what she made kits for this pattern. And it's Twist. I believe it's just called Twist. The La Bien Amie is. And on both cases, I've worked the pattern up through from the first color through the transition, and I'm starting with a second color. And looks very all you see are the bobbles, I think, on one. So if you're someone that doesn't want all that texture, you can actually do it just as easily without the baubles, and you're probably going to save a lot of yarn.
I was
Also,
going to say,
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
interested to see like
yarn
what
difference.
yarn difference between those two sweaters, how much yardage it is.
well, it's going to be interesting because with I only needed 6 balls of yarn with the Fino because it's almost 500 yards per ball.
Uh-huh.
But because the La Bien-Aimée kits were either like sizes 1 through 3 used 1 each of 5 colors, and 4 through 6 uses 2 of 5 colors. So you end up either with 5 balls or 10 balls.
Wouldn't it be
You know,
nice
skeins.
if they were kitting it to do like half skeins?
Yeah.
Some places
I understand
do.
that they're trying to sell yarn, like, but
Yeah.
that
So
would be nice.
I mean, because I'm a size 4, the 4th size, I should say. I'm the 4th size, which only dips into the 2nd skein a little bit. I bet
Right.
I'm going to have 5 skeins untouched when
Another
I'm done.
sweater.
A whole nother sweater.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because it goes from this very mustardy ochre, which I didn't think I'd love, but I really kind of love
Yeah,
this
that's
color. And I started with that color, and it'll work its way into a very shades of grello, into vintage, which is like a pink and gray and grello kind of thing, into pink.
Which there were more than one color choice, right?
There were, but the other ones had more contrast, and even though they had blues going into black, which you think I would totally go for, I just didn't want another one of the same kind of sweater that I always
sometimes
colorways.
you
I
have a
wanted to
different
change it
color
up to try
story.
something new.
Yeah.
I wanted to try this yarn because, La Bien-Aimée is a very special yarn. I've never had it. It's kind of pricey. It's a very luxury item to me. But I will say for the single ply, it has got a nice. The twist is really, really stable. So
That's
even
not a single ply.
no, did I say call? I'm sorry. For
mean-
a twisted no
Maybe you meant fingering weight.
fingering weight.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I was like,
Thank
what
you.
the heck kind of single ply yarn is that?
No. It's a multi. I meant applied.
Got it.
Plied. No,
A
not
single plied yarn.
a single fingering weight plied yarn. How's that?
Sure.
There we go. But it's got a really, really nice twist. I mean, as far as content goes, let me pull out the label. I actually have the label with it. And it is called Twist Nouveau. It's 437 yards per 100 grams. And actually, there's no nylon. It is 100% superwash, non-superwash merino. So it's not superwash. You got to hand wash this, which is, it's a sweater. Of course,
You
I
were
gotta-
going to hand wash
I'm
it
going to hand wash it anyway.
Yeah.
But it's not. At first, it doesn't feel as soft as if all I'm touching is a single ply, which is squishy. But
It's very energetic, though. You can feel
it's
it in
very
the ball.
energetic. But when you feel the once it's already knit up, it actually has a cream. It has a creaminess to it.
Nice and buttery.
But I think I'm gonna love both. But that single plied one is soft and squishy now, but it's definitely getting a halo just from working it.
Mm-hmm.
This other sweater with the La Bien-Aimée, it's not gonna pill. Since I'm doing this ribbing and all of the knit stitches are twisted, they're all through the back loop. It's got a twist on a twist action going on here. It's going to be a very stable sweater, and I'm
Twist on twist.
twist on twist. So I am doing 2, like I said, of the same sweater at the same time, not just finishing. I worked one up to one point. I'm working the other one up to that point, and then I'll move forward in the same manner so that they, hopefully for an upcoming class. So it might entice someone who looks at the pattern and goes, I really like that, but I don't want all that texture. I just want to show you can still do the sweater and make a great sweater. You don't have to do all the baubles, though I will say these are super fun baubles, and she has this really fun trick that makes every bauble perfectly round, berry shaped, which is awesome. I'm going to do that for all my future baubles.
I know I'm a fan of baubles, but I'm almost drawn to the other one more.
You see the movement of the stitches
Yeah.
a little better.
Yeah, they're both really pretty.
I know it's the same 1-1 cables going across, but on the bobbled one, all I see are berries all over the place.
It might be that your stitches are squished up on a needle, so it's harder to see the fabric on the one, but they're both very pretty.
Here, I'm going to spread this one out. What do you think? Is it still any better? Any easier?
No, yeah, you can see
They're both good.
the movement of
Yeah, they're both good. They're just
Different.
They're different. Mm-hmm. So it's a neat study in the same sweater, but in 2 different types of yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway,
Nice. Well, I am working on a sweater. This is pretty much the only knitting project I've been working on lately. It is, it's called April, the April cardigan from Petite Knit. Did I talk about this last time?
You had just started it,
Yeah.
I think.
So I'm still working on it. I have separated from my sleeves. I am cruising right along in the body. It's not that exciting to talk about because I've already talked about it, but
Show us the fabric, because you have
yes.
so much more fabric now.
I am enjoying it very much. It feels nice. It's a nice denim-y color. I like the way my
lovely halo.
my mohair and my base yarn are working well together, so I'm happy with it. It's been a nice, easy pattern to work on when I'm, watching TV or I've been doing a lot of like reading and knitting, so
Nice.
it's perfect for that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything that I'm. I have like sweaters that I'm dreaming about starting, but I really like this one, so I'm gonna get a little farther along on it, I think.
Because springtime is startitis time.
Yeah.
It's a very common affliction.
I think it's all year long, isn't it?
It's definitely stronger for me at this time of year. It can be.
Yeah.
Can be.
Yeah.
But springtime is when I'm like, I want to start all the things.
Have you started all the things?
No, I'm being super disciplined. I'm still interested in finishing.
Okay.
But I don't want to like deny myself that thrill of something new.
Yes.
So I've made a deal with myself.
Okay.
2 finished, 1 new.
Nice.
And so then I can work on the new one till I'm like bored or finished. And then I have to go back to the list and pick the next 2 to
That's a good
finish.
system.
So last time I reported that I finished my blue stripes and something else that was good.
I could look.
Yeah, so I look on Instagram. And so that gave me 1 voucher for something new.
Nice. Did you print out like little coupons for
No,
yourself?
that's a good idea though.
You should.
I like made a list and but there's no like thrill right now to the
Sure.
list, and it really has to stay thrilling to. Avena. I finished Avena.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Avena and blue stripes were my ticket for the first new thing,
Uh-huh.
and then I finished, which I'll talk about in the next one, 2 things, and they were my ticket to my other thing. So one of the finished things one of the things I'm working on is Ghost in the Orchard, which I was just starting
Uh-huh.
last time. So I guess my 2 finished objects last time were my voucher to start this one, and it's coming right along.
This is the vest.
Yeah, this is the vest by what is her name?
Ooh.
She makes all Knit and Tonic.
Oh,
Yeah, Ghost in the Orchard, which is some kind of cocktail. I haven't looked it up. I'm sure it's delicious.
baby cocktails.
Baby cocktails. Thank you.
As soon as you said cocktail, I knew what it was.
Yeah, that's it.
Thea Coleman.
Thank you. That's her name.
That's right. Her name is not Baby Cocktails.
Well, that's her moniker. It's
that
all
works.
right.
Very
the
pretty.
people who say "call me anything, but don't call me late to dinner." It's a vest with a lot of positive ease,
Uh-huh.
and I'm kind of afraid to measure it.
Uh-oh.
Can you pass me a measuring tape?
I would love to.
I mean, it's meant to have a lot
It's a
of positive
pullover?
ease. Yes.
Of course, I can find 100 until you ask me for one right now, and then I can't find any. But I know there's one down at the other end of that table there in one of those baskets. I was thinking, I think I talked about wanting to make a vest, but I want to make like a cardigan vest with buttons on it.
But cute.
I haven't thought any more about it, except that I want to make one of those.
James Watts has a new vest. It's not a cardigan vest, but you
Oh,
can
okay.
probably turn it out because it's just a real deep V.
Yeah.
And stockinette.
Ooh, nice. Oh, I feel like I saw that. I'll have to look that up. So, what do we got?
Okay, it's not too bad. It's 52.
Oh, that's yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, like I make for a 49-inch vest. It just seems so big. Seems bigger than 52. Maybe because it's short and squat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be.
You're not
looks
getting a good
disproportionate,
proportion
but-
of it yet.
But it's lovely. I'm working in the What is that here? I have it here.
You talked about it. It is.
It's called Misky. I can't think of the brand right now.
Is it Taki? No.
No.
Juniper?
Close. Mirasol.
There you go.
Mirasol
Oh.
Misky. And I'm color blocking it, and on our Instagram from last month, there's a picture of the colors I'm putting together, and I think I'm very happy with it.
Cool.
We'll know soon. But it's also like I've been needing kind of more mindless stuff,
Yeah.
and this one's not very mindless. This is very
No,
concentrating.
that's a lot of paying attention.
I mean, it's not too bad. It's not the most complicated cable I've ever met,
Uh-huh.
but it is a pretty, like, pay attention project.
It's, yeah, you got cables going in many different directions, so, yeah, it's not as a space out kind of project, I don't think.
No. Nope. So that is what I'm working on. I am going to pick up Dante's Tom 10 again.
Nice.
This weekend I'm going to pick it up. And then my red and white stripes that I think I talked about last time too, but I haven't been really working on it. But I got my little star beads that I'm going to do for my blue sleeves.
Uh-huh.
So I'm excited to pick that up. That's the next two that will redeem the
Got
next
it.
new project.
Do you already know what the next new project is?
I do. It's on a list.
You don't have to tell us. I'm just curious if you
No,
have
I
it
have
planned.
a list. I have a
Yeah.
list. But I was thinking of reevaluating the list, though. Because,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
I got to keep it novel.
Yeah, totally.
So that's the thing I'm focused on. I've been a good girl.
Nice.
Yeah.
Karen, what have you finished?
Let's see. This is not necessarily a month for finishing since I've got two big projects, but I finished this fun little tote.
Cute.
It is called, what is it called?
It's a cute little zipper pouch.
Crisscross zipper pouch.
Cute.
By Minky Kim. Let me find it, and I actually have stuff already in it. And it comes when you make it, it's lined. It takes you make these squares, but how she pieces them with a zipper is actually pretty interesting, because it's one of those where you have to birth it. You know, you pull it through, so it's yeah, it is when you pull the bag through, and you know, I just did it closed, but
Cute.
I did this. I was trying to think, did I finish anything else? Oh, I finished this. I actually finished the sweater that I was working on last time. I
That
forgot
you're
that because I'm
wearing.
wearing. Duh. Sometimes you don't look in the mirror much. You forget what you look like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, who is that person? So yeah, I finished. What is it called?
Can you stand up and give us a twirl?
Yes. Okay, you're not gonna be able to hear me. In a minute,
Yeah, but you'll hear
but
our
that's okay.
oohing and I.
Ooh,
Yeah. Okay, show me how put your hands in those pockets.
I cannot reach the
Pull the apples and oranges you're carrying in there.
Yeah, that's a huge pocket. What is the name of this pattern?
Pockets full.
Pockets full.
Pockets full tea. It's already out. Let me look it up.
It's very cute. It looks very cozy. It's like a very stylish and handmade robe, like in a
Yes.
good way.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really intuitive how it's all done in one piece. There's when you're just weaving it ends at the end.
I like something like that.
It's a fun there's no shaping to the sleeves.
Yep.
You pick up around around the armhole, and then you just go straight.
Nice.
It's an 8-row repeat where you're doing 2 rows each of stocking net, garter, seed stitch, and something else. I mean, it's a lot of knitting. And then you finish up with this really wide garter stitch
Very
at the
cute.
bottom. The fronts are made as you go. You're slip stitching and attaching as you go. I mean, I can't even. It's really deep. It's kind of long. It's more of a. It's not long like a duster,
like
a tunic length, but as a cardigan.
Yeah, it's really cute.
It's open, but it has ample ease. It's very comfortable. It by Tina Say Knits. TSE is her last name. Tina Say Knits. And
Cool.
on Instagram, she's tina.say, SAY .knits. So you can find her and her wonderful sweaters and I didn't quite make it in. I finished it up like a day and a half after the deadline, so I did not make it into the testers roll, roll call. But it was wonderful, and I was super happy. I really need to take a better picture. The day that the day I tried to get pictures, I just had RBF really bad. I don't know why. I was squinting because it was sunny. And then when I went to look at the pictures, I'm like, I look like I'm really pissed off at the world.
You should see my new driver's license photo.
I want to see.
It is terrible.
I'll show you mine.
Okay, mine's not permanent like that.
I woke up early so I could do my makeup. I brushed my hair, and then my picture came back, and I'm like, why aren't I smiling even a little bit? Why didn't the lady... I had like a very pleasant DMV experience. The woman that helped me and took my picture was very nice, and I felt like she was the kind of person that would say like, hey, let's give it another go. But oh my gosh, it came in the mail, and I was like, wow, this is terrible.
Aww.
I got it for 5 years. But that's okay.
I don't know if it's what the cycle is, but like, mine is infamously bad.
Uh-huh.
And it's like I show it to people like it's a punishment. Look at this because you've been rude to me. And I auto renewed this last time. It was just like,
oh, that's
pay
very
your
fair.
fee, and here you go.
So you're stuck with it for another.
Yeah.
Now, I've only ever had to retake my picture like once a decade.
I think I had to this time because I got the real ID, so I think I had to take a picture this time. But
I want the real ID.
It's not great. Sorry I interrupted your story to talk about that, but
that's okay.
I understand the struggle of the RBF because I was like, wow, I look absolutely terrible in this
picture. I even
picture.
put makeup on that day. I took the time to do my hair. Now, it was windy and it was sunny. And so, but I think what really ticked me off just before, I think this is the thing that set it off, is... I'm a little self-conscious because my hair is a lot more silver. I always think it looks great inside the house. And I don't realize till I take a picture outside the house what sunshine does. I keep thinking, my hair's not fully silver until you go outside. And I was at the park trying to set things up, with a camera, try to set the timer so I could try to get a picture at the right angle because I didn't have my tripod. So I was using like the side of the fence or something to attach it to. And I took it wrong when someone came by and said, "Did you lose a hearing aid?"
What?
Now that's not against anybody who's deaf.
No, they probably found a hearing aid.
But the fact that he thought, I don't know, and deaf people can use hearing aids at any age. But I took it thinking, wow, he thought I was old.
He really was asking you.
He was really asking me.
A hearing aid?
Yeah, and he thought
he found one at the park.
He found one at the park. A terrible child riding by on his bike, be like, "Did you lose a hearing aid?" Just heckling.
Like, Grandma. No, it was someone who was walking with a friend, and they walked past me, and then they came back. And so I just thought that maybe they thought I looked really old, and I got
I'm sure that you were just a person that was at the park that might have had a hearing aid.
Yeah.
Why? I mean,
people of all ages need hearing aids.
No.
Yeah.
So the thing was, in those, I had to sit with my feelings and then sit with my own feelings. Like, wait a minute, am I doing this bias? Why did I get all bent out of shape? Do I have something internally I need to work on? I probably do. Great.
I
thought I was doing better.
I have an occasional colleague.
And then I went and tried to take pictures. And so I think it showed.
I have an occasional colleague who I love. He's hilarious. He is a ray of sunshine, and it's a treat to work with him. And I hadn't worked with him in a long time because he usually would come on a Saturday and moonlight there. And so he came and worked, and it was just a delightful day. And I'm not a hugger. So if I offer you a hug, I have really enjoyed your presence. So he gave me this weird, I'm sure I've given you a hug in life.
I'm not a hug receiver, so that's okay. So
just respecting our space.
Exactly.
I don't think any of us are huggers.
No.
I'd be a little weirded out if you hugged me. I love you very much, but don't hug me.
Okay, good. We can get back to that baseline because now
we're all feeling weird if we hug each other.
Let's all sit with these feelings too. I was remember in high school when everybody was or I started in junior high, where all the girls goodbye, And they hugged each other every time that they left. I'm like, are you going on a voyage? I guess this is something I have to do now. Give you a hug every time I leave. It stresses me out so much.
No, I don't want that.
I've actually started to think that someone needs to parent me and that I shouldn't have to hug my relatives every time I leave too.
Yeah.
Anyway, that idea that you shouldn't force your children to hug everybody all the time. So I go, he gives me this weird, like, sideways hug, and I was like, no, we can have a real hug. And I give him a hug, and he's like, you're not pregnant, are you?
Oh.
And
why do you ask?
Okay, so thank you guys. You all took it that way.
On.
So I just was like, no, and then it, like, ruined the moment,
yeah.
right? And then I didn't say anything about it for a week or so, and we're getting to the next day he's coming, and my boss is like, oh, he's coming. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Oh,
which is not a normal reaction.
Right.
And so he's like, are you okay? Is something the matter? I'm like, well, actually, we had this exchange, and I don't get it, and it really hurt my feelings, and he understood right away that I took it as a weight comment.
Yeah.
No. It was like, oh, I hugged you. Are you pregnant yet?
Oh, okay.
Which he's gay. So it was a sexual innuendo, but with no zing to it.
Oh, I get it. Pregnancies come from hugging.
I got pregnant from a hug.
I think he should know that women don't like to be asked that question.
He should.
He should know that.
Honestly,
maybe he's learned.
Yeah. Well, no, because I've never told. And my boss might have told him that.
Don't say that to somebody.
or like Anne had her feelings hurt or something because. He's like, no, Anne, it was a joke of like, haha, we hugged, and like, oh, okay, well, it's still not very funny, but now I get it.
I'm not offended.
Yeah,
it's just a bad joke.
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
yeah. Okay, good. Now we're cool. Like now it's
funny.
like, oh, ray of sunshine's back. So the point of that is, I get your comment. Like, if that had happened to me, I would have been like, whose grandma am I?
Yeah.
Why did you ask that question? Totally. I get what you're saying. And instead it was just good Samaritan.
I know I'm old enough actually to have been someone's grandma, but I don't think I look like I'm old enough.
I'm not sure what a granny looks like now.
Yeah, nowadays.
That's true.
I think when I see people who are old enough to be my quintessential granny look, they're like very advanced.
Yeah, they're
ages.
real,
like
they're
well
real,
into their 90s.
Yeah.
And having said
Granny
that,
is different than grandma.
That's my point I want to make. Granny, I know lots of grandmas, and actually some of them are pretty smoking.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I hope I look like that. Yeah, but I don't look like that now, so probably I won't look like that then.
If we can figure out how
if I wanted to,
right? Yeah. How is Gillian Anderson aging backwards? Like, if we can figure that out, like she's become a more and more. She? Gillian Anderson is Scully from X-Files.
Oh, okay.
So she has become a more and more beautiful, elegant-looking woman as she's gotten older. So if I can figure that out, I don't care.
Even
if that's the answer, I may not partake in it, but at least I'll know.
Yeah.
At least I'll know that that's the answer.
That's so funny.
Like, who has the gene? Because it looks so natural. Like, when you look at somebody who's getting help.
Yeah.
It just becomes the skin more tightly wrapped around their skull.
Yeah,
that's true. Although there are some people where you think, okay, she might have, but she must have somebody really good because it looks. It doesn't change who she is.
If it does change what they look like, if they're happy with it, then that's all that matters. Like, what do I care if they've had it done?
Right on.
You know?
But I just want to know what the answer is.
Sure.
I'm seeking knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you are a person, like a celebrity or whatever, who has had work done, I think it's not your responsibility, but I think that they should talk about it because it creates an unrealistic standard for people to grow up and be like, well, I don't look like Gillian Anderson or whoever,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But if you did, and you said, I did this because it makes me feel good, then it would also, then it would be healthier because other people could do that and feel good about themselves.
It's like Dolly. Dolly Parton makes no bones about the work she's had done.
She's definitely enhanced.
And that makes her happy and feel good. Yep. But she's like, yeah, I've done this. Duh. I pay a lot of that's one of my favorite quotes. I pay a lot of money to look this cheap.
My favorite is like someone asked her like, are they real? And she's like, are you kidding? You think I could grow my real nails this long?
She would have known what to say.
She's got
to
such
my
a great
friends
sense of
who
humor.
asked me from the hug if I was pregnant. It would have been better than "I'm offended," which is not what I said.
Why did
but
you
it
ask me
was
that?
Definitely what my deep down reaction was. So all of your terrible moments of why you felt foul are valid.
Yeah.
And we get it.
You know what I've done recently for taking like sweater photos or whatever that has like really made a difference
Don't tell us.
is instead of like setting up your camera with like a self timer is to just put it on video mode and like face the camera towards you so that you could see yourself, and then you like pose for a second, and then you like move and you pose for a second, and then you watch the video through and just take screenshots, like pause at a good point, take a screenshot, and then where you don't have to like reset it all the time.
And actually, you don't have to take a screenshot from that.
Yeah, you can select a frame.
It lets you
probably.
export a frame.
Oh, this
I
is
just
brilliant.
learned that. That's
Brilliant.
much better because in the process of trying to get ready for the timer, you'll always get it wrong.
Yeah, the pictures aren't going to be like a super, great quality, but good enough for me to put on Instagram or Ravelry. Like, what do I care?
Well, they're probably more natural. Like, my husband was taking pictures of me wearing my blue striped sweater.
Yeah.
And I know that if you give him your phone to take pictures,
Yeah.
he will take a selfie. And so the less he knows you, the better he loves to do it.
Nice.
And he just loves to do it no matter what. Like, I'm thinking of his coworkers who've handed their phones over. Like,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Well,
So-
they gave the phone.
Yeah. So it's fool me once for sure.
Uh-huh.
So I hand him my phone to do the pictures, and he's laughing at himself a lot. And I'm like, take the pictures, and then I start laughing at him. He's taken one selfie and like 20 pictures of me
Uh-huh.
because he was trying for that like authentic,
Yeah.
not stodgy. Like, here I am smiling.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty great pictures.
Yeah. One of our customers who was here earlier this week, she was like, would you take a picture of me in my sweater? And I was like, absolutely, I would. So we went outside and we had a little mini photo shoot.
Aw.
And then somebody else was like, I should have you do that for me because my husband takes terrible pictures of my sweater. And I was like, if you ever need a picture taken of your sweater, I'm happy to do it because I know what an editor wants to see.
Yeah.
So I'm always happy to take somebody's picture for them.
I just, as soon as even right now, the thought of having to take pictures of myself is creating such anxiety and such tension.
But when you
And
think
that's
about-
what comes out because I mean, you tell me the story and I'm like, the first thing I'm hearing is, I love that your husband feels so comfortable in his skin that he takes selfies.
Oh yeah.
That
Men be like.
he doesn't, that he's so comfortable in that way.
Yeah.
And because that's
And they're probably
something
super
I am-
flattering, like low angle, like goofy pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like,
could
Because he's
imagine.
not going for the like blue steel.
No.
He's going for the like this is
Make
me.
you laugh when you
I'm
look at your picture.
hilarious.
See, I wish I could take the kind of photos like there's a group on probably a business, and I don't actually shop at their stuff. I just save all their stuff on Instagram. Have you seen Social Lighting? They give all these tips for taking photos from different angles, and you could tell that they just took a regular photo and then they did enhance it with editing and stuff. But the angle that they took it at was so interesting. One of my
I have a favorite guy.
One of my favorite ones is like at a sunset or something like that, where they pour water on the ground, and then they put the camera upside down so the camera part is closer to the water, but clearly not in the water. But then they move it so that it looks like you are reflecting in the water.
Oh, that's neat.
And it's just stuff you're doing with your cell phone.
very creative.
But I can't. I can do that for other people. I can't do that for
that's
me.
what I was thinking.
I
you
want
would,
those kind of photos, but of me.
You would sympathize because you've taken some great photos of me, but you're always like, Anne, like do something more interesting than just smile. And that's what he was going for. Is
Yeah.
he wanted some more interesting faces from me than just my pat. I'm smiling for the camera.
I do find that when I make you laugh, you take great photos.
Thank you. And that's what he was going for.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Do you guys follow David Sue Photo?
I don't think so.
He is
How do you pronounce his last
adorable.
name?
It's SUH.
SUH.
Yeah. He I think he lived somewhere like very metropolitan, so either San Francisco or New York, and he's recently moved to Southern California. And his whole thing is about making people look like fire in their pictures.
Uh-huh.
And he like has this like red dress he puts on so he can pose as a woman, and he's like just very
awesome.
super confident and comfortable in his skin and in his masculinity. So he puts on a red dress. And he's just so very cute. He gives a course on how to be more photogenic and take better pictures of yourself.
Oh.
But it's like $3,000.
Oh. I was going to say, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
If I had the money to do that, I would probably already feel better about myself.
But right on.
Maybe not.
I mean, there is supposedly, like, statistically a place where the amount of money you have does make your life easy enough that you are happier because of the money.
I can't believe that wouldn't be true.
But then there's this point where you go past that and it's just
Sure.
money. Yeah. And it does not equal happiness. I have a feeling that if I could pay $3,000 for that, I think I might have more money than equaled happiness.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But I have a feeling his services are worth it. So, too. I would rather just have him photograph me, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you just
Yeah, exactly. Knowledge is priceless.
That's true.
And his Instagram account is full of just super good tips.
There you go. That's free.
Yeah. So, is that everything you finished, Karen?
Yep, it was a
You have one more thing you finished?
Huh?
You have
No, that's I have other things I started.
No, you have something else you finished. You might not be able to show it to us, but you'll have to take a picture for Instagram.
What?
That gorgeous dress.
I almost wore it tonight. I almost wore it today.
It would look cute with that because it probably
Okay.
looks good with everything.
So here's an example. I took the time to video. I took a video of before, where because I have one that I haven't cut open, that I haven't cut apart.
Tell us what
the quilts.
it is, though.
Okay, so
'Cause
it's
I
a
know what it is.
I made a wool fork, and I made it from quilts.
What is a wool fork?
The wool fork dress by Jacqueline Cieslak, and it was based on what's her name? What's her name? First name?
She's another designer.
She's
or
knitter.
textile designer.
Sewist, textile designer. She makes all kinds of stuff. Lisa Woolfork.
Okay.
It was from the book Embody. We were talking about it before the pandemic. So, and a year ago I bought these quilts from, I forget where they're at. I think it's from India. Yes, they're from India. They take vintage saris that are falling apart, that are not necessarily wearable, and they recycle them into quilts, 4 layers deep, and they hand stitch them together. And then I fell kind of in love with the quilts, and I didn't have the heart to cut them. It took a while, and then I fell enough in love with them that I was like, okay, I want to make these into something that I'm going to be like wearing this quilt all the time in a dress.
Uh-huh.
And then I was trying to find, at first I was going to I intended to make them into a jacket, but I'm like, I won't wear a jacket all the time, but this dress I would. And so I made the wool fork dress out of it, and it is super comfortable.
So if they're old saris, are they mostly silk?
I guess they are. No, they're cotton. They're cotton
cotton,
saris.
okay.
They're cotton saris. Yeah, because I wouldn't have a quilt out of silk. I mean, it would be okay, but I made this photo of before and after, but I was rushing it, and I didn't have the right daylight. And I spent so much time on the editing trying to make, those things where they throw fabric at you and all of a sudden you're wearing the thing that used to be the fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had envisioned what it was going to be. And I'm like, you know what? I realize I don't like how it was filmed, so I'm just going to do it again in a different way. Because I wasted hours and hours trying to edit it. But the dress itself is really, really pretty.
Tell us about the dress.
The dress is super comfortable. It has a really deep scoop neck, but it fits perfectly across the back. So sometimes you get a scoop neck and it feels like it's not, it's like
dripping off your
shoulders,
yeah.
But this one fits really well.
It's perfect.
The sleeves are long, but they're the perfect kind of taper. They're not too short. They're not too long. The dress has these great pockets in the front that I remember to put on appropriately, and it has French seams, which is really great for working with these the really fine. So it's like 4 layers of cotton gauze. That's what these saris are like. Mm-hmm. The quilts are. I do have to go in and adjust where because it was hand quilted in these running stitches. And so, there's places where because it's a loose hand running stitch, it snags on stuff. So I just have to be careful when I'm walking, not to, but if I feel like I feel like I am walking around naked under a blanket.
Naked under a blanket. Yes.
It's so comfortable.
That sounds wonderful.
I want to and so as soon as I tried it on,
I call that my summer pajamas.
Yeah.
So,
well, I went ahead. I ordered some
remember.
more. I'm gonna make another.
That's how come I remember. I was trying to remember. It was like we were retelling the story of the Thomas Fire night morning to someone, and I was like, "Oh, it was such a cold night." And Kevin's like, "It was not a cold night. It was a hot night. Remember, because I had to answer the door." He's like, "Oh yeah, I was in my summer pajamas."
So I will take a better picture because I love wearing it. It's so comfortable. I've worn it like 3 times since last week.
It's
Nice.
gorgeous, and it's so many colors.
It's so many colors, goes with everything,
But not like garishly so.
No. It's like it's got various prints going in all different directions. I used part of 3 different quilts. I had 4. I have enough big pieces to make a bag or to make something else with the other scraps. It won't go. None of it will be wasted.
I follow a couple of people on Instagram whose fashion style is described as maximalist. So they're like mixing layers and textures and colors and patterns. So I think one of them would like take this dress and use it as a basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see those videos and at the end I'm like, that looks amazing. And sometimes I'm like, is this real?
There's a costume.
Is this real? Do people actually wear that outside? Or do they just take the video for Instagram?
I wish I could think of what the girl's name is. I think it is like the fashion maxilist or something. And she's this very cute petite lady. And so she started to answer people who ask her, where do you wear that? Or what are you dressing for? And she's like, here's me at the dentist office.
See, the only reason I didn't wear it today is because I was wearing the wrong bra and I didn't want to go and change my bra. Because I have one that has lace. I'm like, oh, that's going to bug me because the lace kept showing. And if I had just taken the time to change my bra, I would have worn it.
Sometimes that's a big task though.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen the dress, but I'm excited to see a picture of it.
It's lovely.
Well, I finished a couple things. Where's my bag? Last time we talked about my Rainbow in the Storm version 2 for myself that I finished. So it's very similar to my first one in a lot of the same yarns went into it.
But it's not a perfect rainbow.
No, it's not rainbow necessarily. It's a little more blendy. I think the teal is in the original one. And this purple definitely is. I think those are the only 2, maybe. Maybe the green, I don't remember. Were in my first one. But
it has such cool pooling.
Yeah,
It kind of like softens the stripiness of it.
Yeah. Some of them are definitely more blendy. And I followed the pattern the right way this time. So I changed needle sizes for the cuff, and I paid more attention to how the sleeves worked. The other thing I did on this one is I reinforced the shoulders after the fact. I did a crochet slip stitch on the inside of the shoulder seam to give it a little more stability, because it's supposed to be slouchy, but my other one is like really slouchy,
drifting off your shoulder,
and it's just ribbing at the top. Like it doesn't have a whole lot of structure, so it has a little bit of give, but not too much.
And
now.
you did it on the outside, so it's like
no,
a nice,
that's supposed to be like the 3 needle bind off. That's how it is. But then I also did a seam on the inside too, just a slip stitch to reinforce it. So that is done. I haven't worn it yet, but
it's very Eastery, so if it's raining on Easter this year,
yeah, I could definitely wear it.
Don't say that. We're supposed to meet outside. Dang
We'll
it! I
see.
was the one who wanted April showers. It's my fault.
Yeah, I mean, you were just. I thought you'd be an ally in this conversation.
I didn't think this through. I'm thinking about it now.
I
No rain.
I had a couple birthday presents to make this one. I didn't have to, but the day before I decided I was going to make birthday presents for these two different guys. So one of them, they're brothers. They have birthdays like 2 days apart. And so for one of them, I made a little dice bag because he and James have been playing D&D. And so I had this like pirate themed fabric, and I made just a really simple little drawstring dice bag, and James put like a, I don't know, something in it. And then for his brother, I was like, well, what am I going to make Kevin? He is a big Marvel fan. So I found, and Hulk is his favorite. So I found this Marvel fabric with the Hulk on it, and I made him I didn't take pictures of either of these two things because I made them the day before, and then I wrapped them up quickly and gave them to them.
C'est la vie.
Yeah. But the pattern I used for that, it's like a box bag. It's called the Boxy Tool Pouch by Svetlana Sotak. I'm a big fan of her patterns. And then when I finished that one, I made one for myself because I like a good box bag. So this is the same pattern.
Oh, I like it. It's little kitties.
So this I think this fabric was called Cat Cosplay, and it's little kitties with like different hats on.
So freaking cute.
So some of them,
a strawberry hat.
yeah, he's got a strawberry, a cherry, a piece of toast, a little
ears.
elephant. It's very cute. It's very hairy. I just noticed I don't know. It's been in the bag with my hairy sweater.
It's not your actual cat's hair.
No, this one is not.
Unless you had a blue cat.
No.
I want a blue cat.
I have a
That
gray
would be
cat
cool.
and there's a brown cat. But yeah, I gave Kevin the bag and he was like, "Oh, I love this. Where did you get it? Did you get it at what's that place called? Box Lunch?" And I was like, "No, I made it." And he was like, "You made this?" And I was like, "Yeah, Kevin, I made it." And he was very excited. He's like, "I needed something to put my toiletries in." And I was like, "There you go, man."
Ta-da!
So those were fun. So I'll post a picture of the one that I made that I kept for myself. But
What is box lunch?
it's like a Hot Topic-ish, like more like pop culture. There's one in the Thousand Oaks Mall.
Okay.
It's very fun.
Sounds cute.
It's a cute little store.
So it was a compliment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
And then I was hired to make a quilt top for a quilty friend. She I don't think it's her. I don't think it's a family member. I think it's a friend of hers that was turning 100 years old.
Woo!
Wow. That's congrats.
And her family wanted to put together like a memory quilt with pictures. And since I had made one of those for my grandma a couple years ago, they were like, "Katie could do it." So
Katie can do anything. That's usually the refrain in here.
Yeah.
Katie can do that for you. Katie can do anything.
so
And I say yes, Katie.
yes, I can. So I printed. I have a picture of the quilt top. It was just the top. Then they took it to get quilted and stuff. But it was 20 different pictures of this family that I don't know. But I had a really great time looking at the pictures and imagining like who's the kid of this person and this is grandma, and like I had this whole story in my head. But I printed the pictures on the fabric, and there's I can show you the picture of it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it's really simple. They're sepia
That's
toned
very
photos
nice. With
with
blue
like a blue sashing. They gave me the fabric. They were like, "This is the fabric. These are the pictures." So I just put it together.
That's a perfect blue.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I saw you working on that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
the product I used to print on the fabric is called Bubble Jet Set 2000, which is what I used when I made my grandma's quilt, and it worked out well. You like soak the fabric and treat it in this solution, then you print on the fabric through your like regular printer, and then you set it again with the same like a different concentration of the solution. But it works out well.
How does it feel when like the fabric when you're done with that?
It feels fine. It feels like it's been like washed, like the fabric's it's almost like a little bit stiffer.
Mm-hmm.
But once the quilt is put together and then it's washed again, it'll feel totally normal, like
Nice.
regular fabric.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I finished that this month too, which was pretty easy. It took a long time because it's like you gotta soak each sheet of fabric for 5 minutes and then you have to lay it out to dry. And I think Karin was here the day I was doing that, so I had like this whole setup with like sheets of fabric drying, and then you have to like iron it onto your freezer paper, and then you have to trim everything, and then you have to print it all, and then you have to soak it again, and it was
It's
like
process.
a lot of steps.
Yeah.
the putting together of the quilt top took me an hour to sew it all together, but
that shouldn't be too time.
no. But that is the other thing that I finished. And
Pretty cool.
what have you finished?
Well, since weaving in ends doesn't count,
Yay!
right? We all agree
Nope,
to that.
you don't have to weave in ends.
Okay. All right. So my finished objects from last month were my voucher for my what am I working on?
Yeah.
But then I finished 2 more things. I finished my multi-stripes, which I was...
In 2 different directions.
That's different sweaters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is a different sweater.
Oh.
So this is my 3rd stripes. This was the first one I started.
Nice.
But because it's all like one stripe of a ball of yarn.
Yeah.
Like the sleeves match the stripes, but
they don't match the body.
I was stealing from other projects.
Do the sleeves match the body?
The sleeves do match the body.
Oh, okay.
But their end, because the body is a certain length and I have longish arms for my height. There we go.
Nice.
Matchy match.
Very cute.
So finally, like, I finished the things that had the yarn, so then I could take the yarn back to the striped sweater and finish this baby up.
Yay.
And so I do have to weave in all the ends.
Can I ask you a question about this sweater?
Yes.
You've made it 3 times.
Yes.
Do you do the option where you just cast on and then do the ribbing later?
I have done all of them.
And which is your
So,
preference? Because I was going to start when I was like, I should ask Anne.
I think that I don't, because the red and white flag stripe one is the one where I cast on and will come back for the ribbing.
Okay.
I don't have an opinion yet.
Okay.
But I have done the starting with the ribbing, and I like that just fine. So I have tried all of the ways, but I haven't picked up ribbing for the one that I just started knitting the body.
And what did you do for this one?
This one is the rolled edge.
It looks
and I think
nice.
it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And I had plenty of this yarn, so why not use it up? And,
Cute.
I don't know if I like this rolled hem enough to do it again.
Okay.
Because it's tedious because it's
twice as much knitting.
and it's, provisional cast on. It's knitting them together at some
It
point.
looks really cool, though.
Yeah, it's pretty, but it's is it so much prettier than
Sure.
just a conventional ribbing?
Yeah.
Do it to try it.
Yeah, looks cool.
And then as far as the picking up and doing the ribbing later, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out.
It fit that project because I was still deciding where I wanted to place the colors. If I wanted the red because I started with a red stripe, if I wanted the ribbing to be in red or if I wanted the ribbing to be in blue.
I was thinking of starting one of these, but I also wasn't clear on my trajectory of what color I was going to put where. So I was leaning toward the just start without the ribbing option.
Well, and so that's why I started the other one that way. So I can't see any because it's sold in the pattern like it's a not sturdier but more stable neckline.
Yeah.
And so sure it is.
I'm not convinced it is, but
sure it is. I don't think so either. I think it's kind of gaping and open,
Yeah, I feel like it would open it up more, but I don't know.
And I'm going to rely on the ribbing to kind of
tailor
it up.
Yeah. So you finished the stripes?
I finished stripes, my super random stripes, which is the thing I wanted all along since seeing that pattern in July 2000 whatever,
it looks
19
great.
or 18. Then I finished the sanguine,
Sure.
which we talked a little bit about. This was one of the ones that had yarn that needed to go into stripes.
I think all of those yarns are in that sweater.
Yeah, all of these yarns are in the sweater.
Is that gray one in there? But it looks so different. Maybe not
no,
the gray.
No, the gray is not in there.
Oh.
I was thinking about the gray in these, where I needed to extend the colors in the sleeve. But I had all these. There are 4 extra stripes I had to do to make the striping pattern continue to the length of the sleeve I wanted.
Yeah.
I have only 1 fingering weight doubled.
Okay.
I don't know what this purple was in.
Is it something other sweater?
Yeah, something else. But it was perfect. And then I have these 3 yarns were all in my Avena.
Oh, nice.
And I wasn't sure because the gray went into another sweater. So I didn't want to use any of that gray in the stripes. So my sanguine is done.
Yay.
It's fantastic.
It's
the
beautiful.
sleeves might be a little long, but they're all right because you want to finish the whole pattern.
Yeah, you don't want to stop in the middle of a
see
thing.
it through to the end.
You can always push them up.
Yeah.
Cute.
So,
go ahead.
what do you see when you look at the pattern?
So Karin was looking at this earlier, and it's a series of like a diamond in a field of color for a stripe, and then it's like maybe like a teeth pattern,
like a sawtooth.
Sawtooth with like a little diamond in the negative space of the sawtooth, and that lines up on top of these like piano key kind of things.
But they don't line up.
They don't quite sometimes, but I can
they
see
do
like,
sometimes.
It look like they're like Dutch houses.
On the table.
The Dutch houses.
Yeah. So Karen's like,
like
oh,
a row
I
house.
love your little houses.
Because they remind me of the quilt that you like.
Right. Which I don't remember what that's called. It's a free pattern, like the village or something. I've still not put it together. I just made all the houses.
Yeah.
But I can see what
Very
you're seeing.
cute.
I just had not seen it
I don't
that
think
way.
they're houses. I think they would be churches.
Churches?
Because
Okay.
they have little crosses
Yeah,
Well, they
on
don't
them,
look
but
like crosses to me. Those are like the
Medallion
dormer
rose
window.
windows,
The dormer
yeah.
windows.
very
Yeah,
cute.
it's real cute.
Yeah.
I like
I
that
mean,
pattern.
she has
I
this
love
other
the
pattern.
neckline.
I don't remember what it's called. That's just the little piano key,
Uh-huh.
and I made that several years ago.
Yeah.
And this is another good like beginning stranding pattern.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So 2 finished objects, dun, 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 dun,
Yay.
means something new. I can start something new, and I finished it.
Yay.
I was working on this when we met for our book club.
Yep.
It's Jamie Watt's Streamers, which is in
It's real cute.
issue 40 or 41, because it's this double issue from Pom Pom.
Oh.
It's a 4 pieces, which I love that that's in the description, because most sweaters
Yeah,
made
why
in
would
pieces are 4 pieces.
Yeah.
Front, back, sleeves.
Whoa.
Like, the unusual thing is if it's not 4 pieces.
It's
Yeah,
made in 3 pieces.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
That is the description. It's a sweater in 4 pieces.
Okay.
So but the stripes go vertically instead of horizontally, and it's got some cool use of some simple short rows to, kind of shape the shoulder a little bit and create the armhole. And you just make this like piece of striped fabric, and there's very little shaping for the neckline. It was a little short though.
Okay.
So I have this massive ribbing. The yardage was pretty spot on for, like, it gives you a total, you'll need a total of this many yards in the
Was
sample.
it cropped, but it didn't describe itself as cropped?
It looks
I can
cropped-ish
show
in
it
the
to
picture.
you, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, maybe the models are not quite as busty as I am.
Or maybe they're shorter.
Yeah.
Because you're not short.
No. I mean, if you talk to Dante, I'm sure. But
It's very cute, though. So you just added length
yeah,
to the
so I
ribbing?
just kept going with the ribbing till, because my stripes sweaters are my ideal sweater.
Okay.
The length, the bust measurement,
Everything.
chef's kiss. I love how I look when I'm wearing this shape sweater.
I should try one of yours on
yes.
if I want to make one, because I think we probably are close in size.
Similar. Yep.
Very cute.
Yeah, I guess it's cropped.
It's hard to tell when they're like leaning in a
Yeah,
picture, you
like-
know?
And they're not really they're not really showing them
that
from
one?
the waist down.
That one is beautiful.
Yeah. So the pattern is written for, I think this is 3 colors? 3 colors. And
I
then
love
this
that
is
it's
many
non-gendered.
colors. Yeah.
Because a lot of sweaters don't have to have a gender.
And I think most of the ones
I don't think
in
any
this-
sweater has to have a gender.
Yeah.
No, but I mean sometimes they have shaping or the measurements are slightly different.
Yeah. Like they lean towards bust shaping instead of, whatever.
Overall.
Yeah.
Jared Flood used to write a lot about that when he was more a blogger than a yarn company owner. how
Remember
he
those
would,
days?
Yeah, how he would masculinize a sweater to suit him better. So, I mean, it was just shorter than I expected. Because I guess those are not very long sweaters in the picture,
No.
but it's deceptively... Some sweaters, it's so obvious that they're cropped.
Yeah.
Um,
This one doesn't look cropped. It just looks short.
yeah.
But not like...
Yeah. Like, what's her face? Who does Caitlin Hunter?
Uh-huh.
Like, a lot of her crop sweaters,
Yeah.
it's like, duh, that's a crop sweater.
Yes. It's very clear that it is a cropped sweater.
So, I mean, in the interest of yarn, too, I think I still have one more ball of this beige.
Uh-huh.
The beige is yarn from last year's stash swap.
It's a good background
I
color.
saved it out on the last pass before it was like time to donate everything out.
Uh-huh.
And I had it in my head I would mix it with this other yarn, but I'd only need to mix a little. So I can't imagine when I started this sweater that I have in front of me, I could only find 3. It doesn't make sense to me that I would have put 300 yards aside and said I could make a sweater.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
400 yards and something,
Yes.
I can make some kind of simple top.
Yeah.
So I know there's something
orphan
ball floating around in my house. If I'd had the orphan ball, I would have done like the pattern has, which is you choose a color and it's all your ribbings. But I'm happy with how this turned out.
With the sleeves, do you sew them in?
Yeah, so it is, I mean, I didn't follow I just didn't read because I knew how I wanted to put it together.
Yeah.
But you do your shoulder seam and then you put your sleeve in and then I did the like big long seam.
So it's like a traditionally seamed sweater. Okay.
Totally. There's some advice about how, like, I just couldn't quite wrap my head around this. Where to start the stripes on the sleeves.
Where exactly to start
so
the
like
stripes?
on one, it's like, start the sleeve stripe with the same color you started the front. I think it's this one of the sleeves. And then the other sleeve, start with the... I should read it to you.
The color that you had at the back.
No.
Because that's what you did, but...
Well, the designer doesn't know what stripe pattern you're going to do.
True.
There are some super cute ones on Ravelry. There are some where people just did like ribbing at the sleeve opening.
I was going to say it would look cute as like a short sleeve
and
top
I
too, like a
plan
t-shirt
to make
kind
that.
of.
There are some people who just did stripes down like the center front and then solid for the outsides. Those were 2 that stuck out to me. So the designer doesn't know how many colors you're going to incorporate. Because the sample has like an 8 color one and a 3 color one. So let me read this to you.
Okay.
For the left sleeve, start with the color that will appear. And then this is by size 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, whatever. Let's say 11 stripes for the first color used on the front panel of the sweater.
Huh?
What?
Okay.
Right.
Do some math.
Yeah.
That's confusing.
So what I've come up with why he would have had it that way is that you want to make sure you're using like an even distribution because you don't need as many stripes in the sleeve. So you're using your yarn evenly.
You want to see it. Okay.
Yeah. Because what I ended up doing is I started with a stripe that matched the stripes on either side because I started with a different stripe than I ended with. And that, for me, was going to create even usage. I had 7 colors. And that was going to create even usage for me.
Okay.
So that's how I've decided to interpret it. But that's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's
Start with
confusing.
And then stand on your head and then do it
count
on the
backwards.
Night of a full moon. So
it's real cute.
Dun-dun-dun!
3 sweaters. Nice.
Cute. This does not give me a voucher, though.
Why?
This sends me back to my list.
Oh, okay.
And this finished object means that I have to go back and finish a new set.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's why I listed what I'm working on honorarily is Dante's Tom 10 and the red and white stripes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that's next on the list. But I don't remember what that unlocks.
Well, it's a surprise to you too, then.
Yeah. The list is on my desk at work. It's like what I think about when I'm on hold. So
nice.
Guess you'll all find out next time. If this system stays novel enough for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it lasts,
But I'm happy it got 5 finished sweaters because
that's
this one
awesome.
is finished too. I'm going away for the weekend and I'm only taking what I have the intention of working on. No little I could start this or we're going to have time for a yarn store and I'll buy something distracting.
Yeah.
So I am going to finish the vest soon. I will report back to you next time that Ghosts in the Orchard is finished.
Okay. Does anybody want to talk about what they're excited about? What are you obsessed with this month? I can start because I've got my list in front of me.
Yeah.
I have been following an Instagram account called, which you might have seen him, JPR_Stitch. And I wrote that down and I was like, what does that mean? Because I don't look at people's usernames that often.
Nope.
But he is a fiber artist. and his art form is thread art done on a basic domestic sewing machine, and all of it is done in like a zigzag stitch, so you can watch him like sew. Like, I'll pull up one of these,
I see.
stitching on his sewing machine in just like a free motion in a zigzag stitch to like fill in these big areas of stitches. Mm-hmm. And it's really fascinating like how much thread he can pack into an area to like fill a negative space, and the different like forms that his finished objects come in. Like, some of them are like solid, like frameable. Some of them are sort of like 3D shaped. It looks fun to do, and it is, I don't know, I find it very interesting. I can't imagine how much thread he must go through to make one of these things, but it looks like it's fun to do.
I think that he should be lauded also for his hair care routine.
Yes, he has beautiful hair.
That's really gorgeous hair.
Yeah, it's a cool account to follow.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Oh.
They're thinking.
Continuing with the quilted, turning quilts into garments kind of thing. I'm going to make, I just ordered the forms for it, these quilted sneakers.
I need to make
somebody
those.
working on that.
The patterns are free. You just need so the kit, you can get it with leather, but you can get it without the leather, which is what I did. They're in euros, and they have it where your soles are either white or black or this beigey color.
I follow Grape Soda Studio, and she makes like canvas shoes basically with the same kit.
What
and
a
I'm
great
like,
idea.
I want to make those.
Well, the kits are not too bad. I mean, like I said, you pick your size, and they have a
really
chart
cool.
farther down you can buy the sneaker kit, which comes with the sole and most of the materials you need. This, I don't know if it comes with the threads. I'll have to figure out how to do that. But on that site, they have all these free patterns, including a pair of sneakers that are like for summer. So they're like sneaker sandals. Mm-hmm. So one of my pairs is, I got two forms because the second form is at a 50% discount.
Nice.
So and I'm like, I want more quilted clothing that wrap me in a blanket for the rest of my life. Comfort feel. So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That sounds like a good plan.
I was
wrapped in a blanket.
I was telling James I'm gonna like make him a quilt, but turn it into like a sleeping bag, like sew up the two sides to make it into like a tube he can put himself in.
That's a great idea.
Because when he sits down with his quilt, he's like tucking it underneath him and underneath his feet, and I'm like, you just need a sleeping bag, my dude.
Yep. Well, that's what I love about the Quillo.
Yeah,
is that you can stick your toesies in the pillow part. I brought some to my nieces. And gave them to them for Christmas as a little love gift, and then they took them home. They were like on the tail end of their COVID journey. They took them home, and 2 days later they like came back to the family event, and they're like, my brother-in-law made this huge deal of like, Anne, you know what you do with the pocket? You put your feet in there.
Really?
Like,
huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I gave it to your daughters, I said, hey, girls, when you unwrap it, you put your feet in there. But I know he like authentically discovered this.
Yeah.
Because he was not like obviously paying attention. He was like, like when you discover that thing, and even if it's something that everybody
you're like, I know.
So you responded like, yeah, I know, duh.
Well, actually, what was
or did you go, really? That's so cool.
I was pretty wry by that point, but I didn't have to like be the a-hole by myself because everyone had heard me tell the daughter.
Like, if you had listened.
And everybody's like, and there's nothing like that group to be like, oh, we got ya.
We're gonna pounce.
Yeah. Hey.
So you didn't have to do it.
We all know that's what she said when she gave it to them.
You had people to do your dirty work
it was
for
sort
you.
Of like a chorus. Like I imagine it's sort of like a Greek chorus might have been like. Yeah.
And did you find something?
No,
that's okay.
I'm going to be one who's not so obsessed this month.
That's fine.
You were obsessed with finishing sweaters.
Yeah, I really am. Like,
that's awesome.
Great sweater.
Very focused on this. Oh, I forgot something I finished.
My
God,
gosh.
I forgot a ton of things I finished.
Oh, I just
Can I
rushed
go
right past.
back?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
No,
keep going.
I'm so
I didn't even ask.
tickled by these finished sweaters.
You finished 3
that
sweaters.
what-
I assumed you were done.
What Karen said
Sorry.
is being obsessed with finishing the sweaters is truly my obsession.
Okay, so what else have you finished?
But I also I'm bored. You know, my idea of make a new purse every month.
Yeah.
Bored of that pattern.
Okay.
even
That's fair.
though I already cut out the next 2 months worth.
Yeah, but it's
I
not fun to
just
make the same thing over and
Can't
over.
muster. It's a perfect purse for me, but I just can't muster the interest to finish them again.
Yeah.
So I got this very simple tote from the dollar spot at Target. It was a $3 tote bag, and it was just real easy to just put 5 things in a tote bag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is, I don't really trust myself with tote bags.
Yeah.
But I've been pretty disciplined about the 5 core things go in the tote bag, and then the things that are extra that this helped me carry come out of the tote bag.
Yeah.
This is not the Target tote bag. This is the tote bag that I was experimenting with making the pattern for.
Oh.
So it has this, I've upgraded. It has a snap.
Nice. Gotta have a snap.
And it has 2 D-rings so that if I'm being a good girl, I hook my keys right
Smart.
to there so I
Oh,
can look
smart.
in there and see, oh, yes.
And I
there's
like
the
that
key.
it's on
There it is.
either side.
Yes. And my little pouch, the classic Joseph P. Reardon key or coin purse that,
I
give
didn't know
out.
that there was a thing.
yeah, it comes in waves. We give them out at events and stuff. So there's a lot of Ventura has this, whether or not they use it. But it's the perfect little dumb wallet, but it has this little keychain in there.
Oh, yeah.
And so my other thought is on the other side, I'm going to get a little
New
new
carabiner or something.
and put it on the other side. The bummer on that is it is a heavy thing pulling on the top of your bag.
Yeah.
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 So I may not do that. It might just be handy that the D-ring is on both sides so I could latch it on either side. And it's a perfect little size.
Very cute.
The other purse was 16 by 13. And this one I think ends up at 11 by 14.
Okay.
So it's mon petite, but the shoulder strap
Nice
Yes.
and
so
long.
easy. And the other one was just an inch short. So if you can't bend your elbow
And put your
and
elbow
flex
right in
it
there.
and put it on your shoulder, then it is a handbag.
Yeah.
It is not a tote bag to
Yeah.
me. So then this fabric was very fussy. The little one is this really cute green canvas that was on a super duper sale at Joann's. And it was perfect for prototyping with. This is a decorator fabric that has kind of big Marimekko kind of
Yeah.
circles made from little
Yeah, there's a name for
eye
that pattern.
shapes.
Orange peel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Orange peel making a cathedral window.
Yeah. So it's kind of cathedral window-esque if you're in quilt speak. This one's more true to the size of the original tote bag, which is great because you can put a medium-sized project in there on top of your 5 core things and take it out. You could carry a couple books. You could carry a magazine in there. It has my D-rings and it has a nice metallic snap.
Love it.
But I just went with 1 strap.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what you guys think about that.
I
do
like-
tote bags need 2 straps?
No,
No.
because I find that I have it over my shoulder and one of them falls off.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think it needs
So
If your
Two.
single strap is sturdy enough, then you don't need the support of a second strap.
so you're thinking of it for weight distribution.
Yeah, sometimes, or if you're carrying it in your hand, how many times have you overloaded a bag and then it cuts into your hand because the strap
Yeah.
is not strong enough?
Well, I was thinking about functionally. Why do tote bags always have 2? Okay, you're at the grocery store and you're loading up your tote bag.
Yeah.
You have to have 2 straps to hold it closed when you walk away.
Yeah.
But I have a little snap.
If you have the snap, then you don't need the 2 straps tied together to close the top.
For some reason, I don't want to call it a tote unless it has to, that looks like a purse.
Yeah.
But I don't know why.
Yeah, okay.
It
Interesting.
just seems
This
that
is so
a tote bag
interesting.
needs to have 2
Yeah.
straps, but it doesn't need to.
And the only reason this has 1 strap is because the strap is plenty long, and the other strap started to shred when I turned it. So it was I don't have a second strap.
You got
Okay.
1 strap.
Well, that's done.
But that's a really stable strap.
Yeah.
It's stable fabric, and you've got it doubled. I mean, nothing's going to stretch on that.
And it's on the left.
Yeah.
so it's less stretchy.
Or is it on the white?
Well, left or left or warp or white.
Left or white.
So the idea is I'm playing with capsule wardrobes in my work wardrobe again, which is another like springtime game I play to keep myself interested in life.
Yeah.
So that's, if you're not familiar with a capsule, a basic way to do it is 10 wardrobe items. Sometimes people throw shoes in there. I don't, because that restricts me too much. So it's 10 pieces of clothing, and I make 10 looks with that. And it makes my mornings easier. And it gamifies the boring thing of picking out your clothes. Even though I love clothing.
Yeah.
But,
Every day.
Clothing planning is meh.
Yeah. I feel that because I'll like look at my wardrobe and I'm like, I know there's possibilities, but I just don't want to think this morning.
Right.
Like, can somebody come in and say, wear this? And I'm like, great.
And that's like, sometimes creatively, if you like give yourself stricture, it makes you be way more creative.
Yeah.
Or giving yourself the like rules of the game.
Yeah.
Like these are the rules of the game. I have 10 pieces and 10 looks, and then the game is over.
Yeah.
Don't you think that sometimes we gravitate toward that just because it's easier to reach for the thing that you wear the most and that you can wear in like sometimes I've got 2 pairs of jeans and lots of different tops, and I'll mix the top. So I'll pick the top, and then it's easy. Does this go with my faded blue jean? Does this go with my peach jeans? Ease of wearing. Sometimes I accidentally have a capsule wardrobe because I just keep wearing the same things.
Yeah. Some people are natural like simplifiers.
Simplifier or lazy. Either way.
Me, I'm looking for the dopamine hit. So if I'm bored with my clothing, I go buy something new.
Yeah.
And then I'm overwhelmed with how much clothing I have.
Yeah.
And so when I do a capsule, for me, it makes me pay better attention to what I have. And like right now I'm finishing one. And then I have the next 2 planned out, but that's only like 30 items of clothing.
Yeah.
And I promise you that is a small fraction.
Yeah.
I don't go and buy new clothing, but I start planning. I could make this dress. I could make these pair of pants. Let's go shop. Let's window shop on the internet for fabric. I start going down and I get it right up to the checkout. I'm like, and then the cries of all the other not started yet projects say, what about us? And I'm like,
I wish I could hear them before I hit buy.
Maybe you drive them. I didn't used to hear them, but then I organized and put them in a place where they could speak louder.
Oh, the projects can speak louder? I mean, maybe
helps.
I am listening because I have my list. It's cutting down on wanting to buy like something novel and new. Because I want to see these things finished. Like the random stripes, I've wanted that for probably 4 years. Because I think she published that in August 2019. Or around that time. Because I remember looking at it close to my birthday of like, I'm treating myself to that pattern.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I've wanted this sweater for 4 years, like, and keeping that like excitement of like, I know I want this project.
Right.
I was reading a thing about organizing. I am kind of, but I like hazard to say this one out loud because I really want to enact it, and I sometimes reject my own ideas when I say them out loud. But here, I'm going to gamble with you.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with finally figuring out a way to get organized. So I've been reading different strategies. And the one that is most appealing to me is called the moving out strategy. You treat the space you want to organize like you're going to move out of it.
Yeah. That would make a difference.
Yeah. And so then I started reading things about organizing to move out.
Okay.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And one of them made me think of you, Katie, of like, it was more about like general things. But it's like, if you have a project you started within the last year, get rid of it. And you haven't finished it.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
What? So this is not, I'm not a proponent of this, but it's an idea.
New.
No, like a project you started.
Yeah.
And you haven't finished within a year.
Oh, so
Okay, so,
we're
like,
talking about the things outside of that year that I started like 2 years ago.
Sure, or that like
Anything I
if you
started
started something.
Anything I started in the last 12 months, that's still new.
Sure. So if you,
That's a
well,
lie
you
I'm
can make
telling
up your own
myself.
rules,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
And I don't think Katie does this every year.
No,
Yeah,
I have
but-
done it,
but
and
I
I don't
have-
have any time frame. I just look at all the things.
Yeah,
And I'm like, these are the things
you're
I care
moved.
about. These are the things I don't care about,
Yeah,
and I'm
yep.
going to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes you're moved to do that.
Yeah.
I have never been moved to do that.
But
But I admire that you do
I
that.
often am not moved to do that.
The fact that you ever
But when I
did
get
it
that
one
wild
time-
hair, I gotta go with it.
Yeah. It's like the finishing vibe I'm
Yes,
in
you
right
gotta
now,
ride
like,
that wave as long as you
take it.
can.
Yeah.
As long as you can.
Yeah. But also just like there's no punishment if I don't
No.
follow through on
No.
this. I know what, I'll probably be better off if I do though.
Sure.
Take it as a sign of maturity.
I like that. Okay, well, I think that reaches the end of our episode
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Those were all the things you finished? She's
Yes.
thinking, okay.
Yes.
So
Pause for dramatic fun.
thank you everybody for listening.
There's one more thing.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
give you 1 minute. She's reaching for the one more thing. What is it? Oh, a shawl.
Yeah. So one Friday afternoon at my lunch break, I did want to be distracted from my promises to myself, and I'd had this yarn floating around in my car. It's like a nubbly, I think it was a Moda Dea yarn. I had 3 balls of it, and I knew that it could make some snuggly shawl.
Okay.
And I just started with kind of a rectangular crescent shape.
Triangular.
Thank you. It's not rectangular
That's a weird
at all.
shaped rectangle.
Well, it's a corner of a rectangle.
Half square triangle.
Yeah.
Half square
It's
rectangle.
a half of a triangle,
Half square rectangle.
I meant to say triangular crescent.
which are also not the same thing.
Well, because the reason I am hybridizing is it's a crescent because it has 4 increases on the right side and 2 on the
Yeah,
wrong side.
It's a longer wingspan.
Which I like because it hugs your shoulders better.
Very cute.
And so whatever you want to call that shape, that's what it is. It has 6 increases
An
per
elongated
2 rows.
Triangle.
and nice big yarn.
Yes. And
Cute.
I finished this by Saturday night.
That's awesome.
I started it Friday at my lunch break, worked on it for half an hour, worked on it on Friday night, and I went and bought yarn on Friday night to be the border.
Yeah.
And then I finished it on Saturday night. It was pretty fast.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
What a great way to add a number to your finished things.
Those are all the
Okay,
things I
I'm gonna
finished.
cut you off now.
Cutting you off.
I came in very disorganized. Next time,
yeah,
I'll
you
be
did
more
carry in
organized.
just like a big handful of things.
Yeah, I threw it on the table.
Well, I'll take pictures of. Well, I won't, but we will have pictures of all of the things that we talked about. So check out our Instagram if you want to see pictures of them, and check out our Patreon if you want bonus content. We're gonna stop recording this episode and then just start a new recording, and we're gonna chat about something tonight. So if you want more, you can sign up for our Patreon.
Will Anne say there's one more finished thing
Maybe
on the bonus content?
you'll have to tune in to find out. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Strings Unraveled is a production of Strings and Things Studio, with Anne Leckervin Cazzoli, Kaity Von Rader Fraker, and Karin Wilmoth. Recorded and edited by Kaity Von Rader Fraker. Find us online at stringsandthingsstudio.com or on Facebook or Instagram at Strings and Things Studio. You can email us at stringsandthingsinfo@gmail.com.